Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing again. This is the State Cup. We are facing Massachusetts. Get ready for a big battle. Testing again. This is the State Cup. We are facing Massachusetts. Get ready for a big battle. This is the Cup. We are facing Massachusetts for a big battle. Okay, we had minor issue there with connection. Gonna make sure our sound is okay. If you're in the chat, let me know if you can hear me. All right, please forgive us for that connection problem. This is the Michigan State Cup. This is a league where we have, I seen a map not too long ago. I should have brought that map out that shows all the teams around the country. There is in all time zones, I guess there's what, mountain time, west time, east, and central. I believe those are the time zones. And so there's chess teams in most of the states in the country. There's a couple of states that don't have chess teams, but not many. So we're in the East Division, and we're finishing up our regular season in the East Division. We're going to be playing Massachusetts tonight. Starts at 7 p.m. In about 10 minutes. And then Monday, I believe. I have to double check that again, but I believe it's Monday. We'll be playing Pennsylvania in the season finale. And I believe Pennsylvania is tied with us for first place. But we have the tiebreakers in that matchup, I believe. I will confirm that. I am the coach, Brian Wilson, doing this live stream with you. Thank you for joining us here. This is organized by the Michigan Chess Association. You can find all your information about chess tournaments online or over the board in the future on michess.org. That is michess.org. As you can see, we have a logo for our state team, the Michigan Monsters. This logo was voted on by Michigan Chess Association members on the Michigan Chess Association Facebook page. Make sure that you join that Facebook page when you get a chance. We also have Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel. That is what you're watching right now. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the videos with your friend to help Michigan Chess Association grow the channel. It's been growing a lot since we have been doing live streams for the State Cup. Shout out to the captain of the State Cup Michigan Monsters team, Jeff Aldridge, who is also our Michigan Chess Association president, who has put this team together. He has coached a first place team. You're talking about a Michigan team that's in the same division as New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maine, Massachusetts, all the East Coast states that are known for chess culture. And Michigan, that's right, we are number one in that mix. The tournament is designed to have a team average of 2,200 or under. That makes strategy a big thing. And on the Michigan team, we have more than 10 players on the team. Jeff Aldridge decides which 4 players play at one time. That's right, there's 4 players per team that can play at a time. So last week was our last week where we gave our one of our 2 top players a rest. And that was James Canty. Or I think it was James Canty. So now we have both of our players back this week, both of our top players, FIDE Master, our titled players. FIDE Master Mark Hyman is our first board, and National Master James Canty is the second board. Today, we're rolling with Claire McGrew at the third board. And actually, Zachary Smith is the fourth board. I know I said Devin Caminera is there. That is actually not correct. So I'm going to switch that. But also in that ticker, you can see our opponents. Our fourth board is going to be Zachary Smith. And this is his first time playing in the State Cup. And he will be playing the fourth board. He's rated around 1,800. And a little story about Zachary Smith. He's the former student of Mike Smith. I don't believe there's a relation. Mike Smith, shout out to Mike Smith and Jennifer Skidmore Smith, who just had, I believe, their second child. They have deep roots in Michigan chess. Hopefully they're watching our stream today and supporting the state team. Mike Smith, Zach Smith is Mike Smith's former student. And Mike Smith, while he was under his tutelage, Zachary Smith won the under 1400 section in the famous Michigan Chess Festival that was organized by Alan Kaufman. So I'm going to make sure that Zach Smith is represented here. Devin is taking a break this week. Maybe we'll see him next week or in the playoffs. But Zach Smith is going to step up. And I will say the MVPs, right? Not only was it a great coaching job and roster decisions by Jeff Aldrich, but the MVPs have been our fourth boards. We had Jesse Wren, who had a couple of upsets in his first State Cup matchups. Abhinav Rajanesh came in at a 1600 or probably 1700 on the dot rating, playing higher rated players, and then was able to score and help us in his matches as well. So we have had great fourth boards perform above their level in the State Cup. Now these matches are 15 minutes with 2-second increment. And the first player, our first board will always play Massachusetts' fourth board in the first round. And there's going to be 4 rounds of games. And after those games, once you get to the fourth round, then you're going to have Massachusetts' top player versus our top player in the last round. So every player plays 4 games. Now, Mark Heimann, probably this team has the highest first board, referring to Massachusetts, that we've ever faced outside of Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar, who we played in the first matchup against New Jersey, where we tied that match. But this one is Nathan Salon, who is a former Michigan resident and now lives in Massachusetts. We'll be playing the first board. And Mark Hyman is about 2485 and Nate Salon is 2430. So that's going to be a really even matchup. But I will say Massachusetts have been struggling in the East Division because they are all the way on the bottom. And it's important for the Michigan team to try to muster up some wins in a matchup like this because we outrate Massachusetts so much, but we want to put some space between us and the second place team. Massachusetts, their second board is Kelsey Liu, and she is 1984, and that is a severe mismatch when you're talking about the last round of her versus National Master James Canty. Then the third board is 1452 rated, 1452, and we'll be playing Claire McGrew, who's 2,100 plus rated. So that's a big mismatch. And the last board is 611. I believe that rating is probably misleading, but still a big mismatch with Zachary Smith, who was 1884, against a player that's 611. And now we see why Massachusetts have struggled in the East Division. So this is our opportunity, Michigan, not to look forward, but hopefully if we play how we're supposed to play here, we can get a big lead in these games and then put some separation between us and that second place team that's actually tied with us for points, even though we beat that second place team head up in a head up match. So hopefully that will be to our benefit. So we are about to get these games started. It is 6:59. The first matchup is going to be Mark Hyman versus Kevin Sudaram, and that's the 611 game. That is a rating difference of almost 2,000 points. Man, that's going to be very interesting. Our second board will be playing. I believe our second board plays the board 3 person, or is it board 2? I am not sure who plays who, but no matter what, it's going to be some big mismatches here. And this is going to be very, very interesting, as now it has hit 7 o'clock. If you guys can hear me, please leave a comment in the chat. All right. Okay, now I see you guys here in the chat. What's going on, Adam? What's going on, man? Let's go, Monsters. I know that's right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here. And let's get into the games. The games, I don't believe any games have started yet. Adam, man, did you think about playing on the State Cup team this year? Seemed like you would have been a good addition there for us here in the State Cup. I bet you next year when the State Cup, it's going to be more players participating next year. I guarantee you. Because this is just a fun league to play in. The players still haven't started play just yet. Again, we have Mark Hyman, FIDE Master, National Master James Canty, and expert player Clara McGrew from the talented McGrew family. Shout out to Tim McGrew out there, her father. And also Zachary Smith. I believe Zachary is from the Ann Arbor area, I believe. And I also think Zachary is attending Michigan State University, or did he graduate? I'm not sure. Zachary, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you attended Michigan State University, or maybe you're still there. All right. What's going on, Jeff? Jeff is in the chat. Jeff Aldris is our Michigan Chess Association president and the captain of the Michigan Monsters. He is responsible for putting together this terrific roster, maneuvering players, giving players rest. It had to be a hard thing for him to give Mark Heimann and James Canty rest, knowing that we had a first place lead. We were in first place, but he was able to maneuver that and gave him rest at the perfect time. And now that we're playing Massachusetts, we're going to want to probably run the score up as much as we can, because every point means a lot when we go into the playoffs. Because right behind us is I believe it's Pennsylvania. Okay, yeah, that's right, Jeff. I am sorry. Advice is playing instead of Claire McGrew. I'm sorry, guys. Advice Rajanish is playing. I have to correct the record there. I have to correct that. Advice Rajanish is playing. And Advice Rajanish played, did he play last week? But he's played one match already, and he played pretty well, if I am not mistaken. Rajanish is from the Bowling Middle School. And I believe this might be his last year at Bowling. I believe. But he is rated right around 2,000. And Advaitharajanish, I mean, he's participated in the nationals for a while. He had a really good team in bowling. He won a state championship with the bowling team, I believe. I'm pretty sure they won a state championship. They played the university prep team. So I think they won that championship. I'm not sure. But they are, you know, Advaitharajanish is one of the top 100 players in his age group. And so he will be playing our third board. Adam says he plays online but haven't gotten into the USCF Michigan leagues. Okay, man. You got to get you in, bro. We got to get you in. Because I predict this state cup is going to be a big thing. Okay? I believe when we go back to over the board play, the state cup will be going nowhere. I think this is here to stay. And these games are online rated, I understand. So these games are online rated. Thanks everybody for joining us on the live stream. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe to this channel. Or share the videos, like the videos, subscribe to the channel. I am Coach Brian Wilson, and this is the State Cup. I think it's that time. Do we have games? Squad to death. He's not in yet. Okay, James Canty is playing right now. Okay, so they have been playing here. Hope Springs Eternal, that is Zach Smith. And he's playing Nate Salon, who is originally from Michigan. And they are playing their game here. So that's updated. Make sure the game with Advaitharajanish is updated as well. Also, the reason why I was thinking Claire McGrew, because Claire McGrew, who plays on the Michigan State team, and now we see Advaitharajanish playing right now. Reason why I said Claire McGrew, because Claire McGrew is now giving lessons for those of you out there who are interested in chess lessons. Go to the Michigan Chess Association Facebook page. You will see Claire McGrew's information right there. She is a 2100 expert player, a very, very nice person as well. As we see, Advice is doing the Magnus Carlsen, rerouting the knight to E3 and controlling D5, the Karpov way. I love this way Advice is playing, but make sure you go to that Michigan Chess Association the Facebook page to find out more information about those lessons from Claire McGrew. Shout out to Claire McGrew. Hopefully you're watching here. All right, so I think we have all the games updated. And we're gonna just get to the analysis of these games now. Squad to depth is Mark Heimann, and he's playing the fourth board from the Massachusetts team. Remember that fourth board, and I like the fact that Mark is black in this game, which helps us out even more, because you don't want to really waste your white when you're playing someone lower. I see this, Sudaram has an online rating of 1631. It's better than the 631 or 681 that his rating is. And you see, this is a Italian game, and Sudaram decides to play D4 early. All right, so that's in the beginning stages there. I believe it's kind of early for white because it's a waste of a tempo for white to go d3 and then d4 instead of just doing d4 in one move. So Mark is going to benefit from that. And now Pseudoram actually takes with the bishop, which gives Mark the pair of bishops as well. Already this is looking like a really good position for black. I'm anticipating move like a6 so he can keep the bishop pair on the board, or maybe even rook to e8. Rook to e8, a6. This should be, yeah, this looks like a really, really good position. Oh, instead he plays bishop to e4, so he's not worried about the bishop pair. He put as much pressure as he can on the e4 pawn. So anticipating rook e8 here as well. There it goes. And the e4 pawn is being assailed by Mark Hyman, our FIDE master and our top player for the Michigan Monsters. All right. The next our second player is James Canty, and he is playing Santosh Ayappan. And Santosh Ayappan, what was his rating? Let me see here. Excuse me. His rating, Santosh's rating is 1452. And you're talking about he's won against a player that's 2,330 something in James Canty. Okay. His rating on this quick is almost the same as his real rating in real life. And already it's hit an end game. Now James is in this end game, he's up one pawn. But Santosh couldn't ask for a better chance than what he has here. Even though Santosh has the double T pawns here in an endgame, this is not going to help much. But Santosh is being down one pawn, trying to hold the draw here. I mean, it's going to be tough, but I don't think this is that bad of a strategy for Santosh here because he just wants to score against James Canty. Going to be tough there, but Santosh is trying to put pressure on the D file. One thing I'm looking at here is the weakness of this a6 pawn. If I could somehow reroute my bishop to maybe, I would say to f1 somehow, that a6 pawn could be captured or be attacked because I think that a6 pawn is pretty weak. Maybe in the move bishop c4 and bishop to d3, getting rid of the bishop and then trying to surround this a6 pawn. All right, so instead he tries to double up on the d file, but that's guarded really well by the bishop on f5. Let's go to the next game, Rajneesh, and he is playing He's playing 1984 players. So this matchup is more even than the other matchups. The player 1984 at right real rating is right above 1900, around 2000. They're pretty much equal. Now, the one thing when I look at this game is Advice has a problem. Now, what happened here? I'm looking at the move b4. Like, what happens if he plays b4? Wait, what happened there? If he plays b4 here, that's a fork. Is he just gonna play knight b5? I don't understand what's happening here. lose the win. Lose then win. He's, oh man, why can't he play b4? Is there something I'm missing here? Yeah, Advice, I don't understand what happened there. Okay, Advice was on the c4 square. Did he just miss the move b4? I don't understand what's happening here. After he had to play like knight d2. And what I was saying earlier in the beginning of this game is Advice is not really the fastest player. And what he has to watch in this match is his time. He takes a lot of time to make decisions, which is okay. But that is his biggest weakness, is his control over time. Knowing how to eliminate some candidate moves. He might concentrate on some candidate moves more than he should have, or to eliminate some of those concrete candidate moves because you're playing a quick game that's only 15 minutes. It's probably better to just get a good position than just see if you can get an excellent position, because that requires you to have more calculation time. And then if you use that much time, then you're bound to make a mistake like he just did here, because he feels like he feels rushed, and that was a rush move that he made there. And now he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose some material here. The only thing I could see him doing is maybe getting 2 pawns for the piece, like when bishop takes d4. But then, I mean, don't want to really trade those bishops. But after this and queen takes d4, he takes one, I guess. Maybe he takes the a3 knight. And then there's a weakness on the c file. I mean, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We're watching Rajanesh play his matchup, and I believe her name is Kelsey. And already Advice is down a piece. He's trying to use some type of initiative to make up for that. I wonder if what would happen after a4, knight c3, and nope, doesn't work because the e4 pawn will be hanging. So here you probably got to play a move like queen to d3. You don't want to play that. And then bishop b7 is coming. This is not good for Advice Rajanesh. Not good for Advice Rajanesh here. Instead, he goes. Okay, so he's thinking now. He has more than half, less than half the time of lose to win. So this is tough. Let's go to Eternal Springs. He's playing the highest player. If we can somehow score in this game, all he has to do is score in this game against Massachusetts highest player Nate Salon, former Michigander, was born here. He's from Michigan, I believe. I think he moved to Ohio right after leaving Michigan. But I will say this looked like this was a classical Dutch defense. And Hope Springs Eternal, he has a good position. He's trying to get the e4 pawn push in. And if he's able to get the e4 pawn push in, he's going to have big time control over the center. So I believe this is a really good position. He has to watch his time because right now he's 2 minutes down. But White has to be slightly better. White has a pair of bishops here. It's still it's yet to be seen if those bishops can go be assets here. But the longer you keep those bishops, usually pawns get traded off. The position starts to open up, and those bishops will become assets, especially in a position like this where the center is pretty fluid. It's not locked. There's a lot of pawn breaks here. There's a b4 option, a d4, d takes c5 option. There's an e4 option. There's breaks here. He doesn't have to worry about that. Now he put the rook on c8. I wonder if, okay, so he decides to open up the bishop right now. That makes sense. That makes sense. He opens up that bishop right now, and man, hey, I will say Zach Smith has his position is not bad at all. I'm wondering if he could even play queen to a4, and if it's worth it to even put pressure on this pawn on this side of the board. He might even play e4 here, maybe. But I would look at playing moves like rook d1, because at the end of this file is a backwards pawn that probably could be a weakness for black. So I think Hope Springs Eternal, he's played a pretty good opening here against Nathan Salon. Let's go back to our top board, and it's over. Wow, it's over. And let's see what happened in this game here. It's always good to get a quick win. So this was a Italian game, or Gucco Piano, I guess. There was a loss of tempo where he played d3 and then d4. And then there was a lot of pressure that was put on the e4 pawn. Look at the knight hop to e5. Then he doubles the pawns here. And I wonder if he's going to try to use those as targets. Nope, he's threatening to play knight to g4 and attack the h2 pawn. g3 was played, and now you have to really watch knight g4 now. You can't allow knight g4 because it's going to be hard to stop his attack at that point. Okay, so here he doesn't move the knight. He plays bishop to g4, hitting the queen, and then boom, there you go. You lose the piece there. He had protected that piece. Yeah, he could have went back to f1. And here he brings the knight right back into f3, takes the rook here, doubles the rooks. Yeah, this is just, yep. And there you go, checkmate. Wow, so that was a dominating game by Mark Heimann. There, so he got one win there. This is James Canty versus Santosh Ayapin, who was about 1,400. And it looks like James Canty, he just checkmated Santosh, and then that gives us 2 points there. Just that quick. And now we go to Advice, who is actually down a piece against his equally matched player, Kelsey Liu. She's around 1984, and his wife is around 2000, but he made a big blunder early in the game. And also, now he's down this piece. But one thing, now I see that he is trying to win the exchange. But Kelsey doesn't care, because she's just up a piece, so she's allowing him to take that exchange there. Because not only is black up a piece here, not only is Kelsey up the piece, and also she is attacking the knight on a5. I wonder if she's going to take the knight on a5 first, and then make white figure out how to rescue the bishop on b8. That's what I think I would do. Queen takes. Yeah, okay, she does do that. Now here comes the bishop headed back. I wonder if a move like d5 is in the cards, because notice that Kelsey's king is still in the center, and Zach's king is still in the center, 2 moves away from castling. Opening the center, one rule when you're up in development is to be aggressive and open the center when you have more pieces out than your opponent does. You want to do that immediately. I don't care what your style is. In order for you to be a universal player, you have to open up the center when you're up in development. That means you got to be aggressive. That means you got to be mean instead of nice. You got to use your imagination. So she instead puts pressure on the c3 pawn. I do believe d5 was a really, really strong move. But I understand what she's doing. She's saying, hey, you can't castle right now. I'm threatening rook to c3, winning more material. And Advice is going to probably have to let that go. Gonna have to let that go, bro. Because you can afford to have your king in the center, but this is just a losing game. Advice is down now to almost 1 minute left on the clock. This is gonna be tough for us here. Springs Eternal. He's also down in time about 3 minutes against his higher rated opponent. The problem here is his bishop here is actually not a good piece anymore. He had the bishop pair, but for some reason he let the position close, and now the knights are going to be dominant in this position. Now, what do we have to do with this bishop? We have to reroute this bishop and get it outside the pawn chain. Bishop f1, g3, bishop h3, and so the bishop can be an active piece. Even though it's a bad piece, it doesn't have to be a terrible piece. So we already know this knight can come into d4. Probably should take that right away. Here Zachary is also, he's doing a pretty good job. He wants to use his 3 pawns versus 2 pawns over here and create a passer in that area of the board. And you see Nate Salon, since the center is locked, remember, play switches to the wings, and Nate Salon is going to open up the king side here with h5 and g4, swinging the king probably to h8. Now, Zachary, I didn't like what Zachary did there, because now the queen side is permanently closed. Even though there is a protected pass pawn, the queen side is closed forever. So now play is going to be directed towards the king side now. And Zachary is going to have to be able to defend on that side of the board. You see how he plays bishop e2, trying to hold off the g4 push. But h5 is coming anyway. So he's going to have to be resourceful. Hopefully, his time disadvantage doesn't help him in making critical decisions. Shout out to everybody that's joining us in the chat, Michigan Chess Association YouTube channel. Make sure that you check michess.org for all chess information for upcoming tournaments. We have chess tournaments also on chess.com that are rated. You can check those out on michess.org. Or you can go register for those tournaments on onlineregistration.cc, onlineregistration.cc. There is a speed chess tournament coming up, Michigan State speed chess tournament that's coming up, and also a Michigan State quick tournament that's coming up. Sign up for those tournaments. Just because we are in quarantine and in this pandemic doesn't mean we cannot play chess. Chess tournaments are still going on. Make sure that you go to those venues, websites, social media pages to find out more information about those tournaments. It is Michigan Chess Association at everything: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Michigan Chess Association everywhere. Chess.com, you got a club there. What's it called? Michigan Chess Association. Make sure you check that out. We have 2 wins so far, and we're watching the game between Zachary Smith and Nate Salon. Nate Salon, formerly of Michigan, now is a trader. He plays for Massachusetts. Just kidding. Nate Salon, he is not a trader. He moved there. I believe he moved to Ohio, then he moved to Massachusetts. So even if he wins this game, it's almost like a win for Michigan anyway. Okay, I want to go back to the game Advice and see what happened here. This is still going on. Advice is down to 51 seconds. He gave up. Uh-oh. Was that a trap queen? I think Advice actually made a wonderful move there. Hold on. What's going to happen here? That was a trap queen advice. Oh, but it is, I'm sorry, it's Kelsey's move. So there's the check there. And the rook is on pre on d3, and the bishop on b7 is on pre, and advice is fighting back again, down in time. So that has been his bane to his existence so far. But he is fighting back here. He's going to wind up with the exchange or more. He can wind up with more than just the exchange here. He has to make a move. Remember, you have 2-second increment in these games as well. He has to make a move here. I wonder if he's thinking about playing rook before going on to spawn. No, he goes rook to b1. So it's just trying to keep everything together. But right now, it's a rook versus... Wait a minute. White is in a better position. As long as he can get castled, White is doing an excellent job. Kelsey Lou caught the winning disease. If White gets developed here, White is actually better with the bishop pair and the exchange. And Kelsey is trying to open the position because, of course, she should, because she is up in development. Makes some sense. She plays d5. White has to do something now. He doesn't give up the pair of bishops. He moves it right back. It's 10 seconds left. Bishop to d3. That's an excellent move. Anticipating to b4, bishop b4. Bishop b4 should be coming. Or maybe even rook to c2. Rook c2. Putting pressure on the c2 pawn, but also being able to move the rook out of the, so you can scoot your pawn down. That's what you do. But also, I would say bishop b4, that is probably a risky move because you got to watch out for the back rank. He does want to trade off one of those bishops from... Kelsey wants to take one of those bishops because these bishops are going to, in this endgame, going to be a problem. Even with 10 left, is strongest position, and can't advise safe game being in such a losing position down all this time, and knight to b4, so he does take that. Now here, advice is actually threatening to move c3. Because if bishop takes c3, rook b1, checkmate. So that would actually win a piece here. Maybe not. Well, c3, you got rook a2 check. Maybe not a piece, but yeah, or maybe so. I think that would win a piece there. c3 can be played. Okay, so she gives herself a love. 55 seconds to 10 seconds left. You just gotta duck that. He does duck it. Advice has 8 seconds left to Kelsey's 44 seconds. F5 is coming. Okay, so Advice is planning to tuck his king over to h2. Oh, there's another move. You gotta duck that too. He goes back to f2. Now, does he want to draw here? No. I don't think so. I would think we would probably have to go king e1. You don't want to draw here, but maybe you have to take it. What did he do? Did they agree to a draw? I don't know what happened. It froze there. Maybe the draw was agreed there. I don't know. Since I am comfortable with playing with low time, I think I would have probably tried to milk that a little bit more. Just a little bit more there. But so I don't know what happened in that game. I think it was a draw, repetition of moves. Let's go back. Let's go to Hope Eternal. I'm sorry, guys. We're having some connection problems here. There we go. Wait. Okay. So. Okay, that was a loss. So we lose the game with Zachary Smith versus Nate Salon. Yes, it was an open D file that was, yeah, couldn't do anything about that. And it was a draw with Advice Rodness, who saves the point. Hey, you got 7 seconds to understand why you would want a draw in that position, even though I believe that he could have gotten away with it for sure. I think he could even play like H4 and King H3, but I understand why he would take a draw there because he only got 7 seconds. So that means we get 2.5 to 1.5 in that round. 2.5 to 1.5 is the score. And I think that was expected. Advice matchup was equal. So you figure 2 players around the same rating, they draw the game. That should be fine. We are getting ready for the second round of the State Cup. This is the Michigan Monsters and the Chess Association YouTube page. And so let's get into the game. I believe they have started. They have started. So we have Advice versus Nate Salon. That is the top player here, and Advice would definitely like to score against Nate Salon. That is the 2000 versus the 2400. All we want to do is score in that. We want to get as much points off of Nate Salon as we can before he gets to our top player, Mark Hyman. Let's see. I'm gonna have to refresh all of these pages. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat here. Yeah, I see Adam. Yeah, Hope Springs Eternal lost that game. I knew the G file was going to be. Is it this Massachusetts chess team? We're the Michigan Monsters. They are Massachusetts. What? I would like to know. All right, I think we're okay. All right, we should be back here. Sorry about that. We should be back here. Well, hold on. I don't know what's happening here. Oh, you know what? Okay. James Canty's game. I don't have his game, so I gotta refresh him. But our first board, we have squat to death, or actually no. Sorry guys, we're going in and out. In the internet, in and out. Right now, let's watch the versus Nate Salon. Let's put the beginning of this. This is a game declined. Classical chess. And here, Advice takes on, while he takes on c4, and he got to get with queen f3, and there's going to be a problem with the c6 square. Now, Mark is betting that he's going to get enough initiative to make up for him moving the queen in the opening without being castled first. I mean, if you look at it, Advice is probably going to have to play something like knight d7. His knight gets to come